Hello, Bill Warren here. How you doing? It's January 11th here, 2017. I'm in Cyprus at Coral Beach Hotel, which is up on the hill here. They had a tremendous storm yesterday, and for the last 3 days, in fact. But last night especially, it was really rough here. It was like a major storm on the Pacific Ocean. And I'm here looking at all these rocks. There's the water out there, and look how far up the sea pushed rocks. Even these rocks up on the beach, they're almost at the size of my shoe, and up against this wall. So I'm seeing everywhere sponges. I've always heard that there were sponges in Greece, you know, and in the Mediterranean, and here's my proof. So now I'm looking for coins and jewelry that might have been thrown up here, and artifacts like pieces of amphora jars, clay jars from Greek ships that could be 2,000 years old. I think this is like a boat ramp here or something. A lot of seagrass. Look at this. Look at the amount of the seagrass. The sea, it looks like it's calmed down quite a bit. Last night they had terrific thunder and storms, lightning. This is the sponge, I guess, that's so famous here in the Mediterranean, that we use in America. All kinds of pieces here on the beach. So I'm looking closely for artifacts, because that's one thing I do. Here's a pair of sunglasses, what's left of them. What else? This is all very interesting for me. You never know what you're going to find after a major storm, because it moves a lot of beach material around. Sometimes it sucks the sand out to the sea, and other times it just pushes it up farther up on the beach. I mean, this is all was underwater too, I guess, by waves here. If you'll notice, here's a syringe right next to the sponges, some hypodermic needle or whatever. There's a piece of metal. It's been in the sea for a while. No idea what it's from. I'll put the camera up here on the rock and talk to you, whoever you may be. Let's see. How about like this? Hope the camera doesn't fall. So I guess Africa is that way. Maybe Egypt. That would be, well, that's west, so that's not the right way. The sun is setting in the west, so that would be looking towards Spain and Italy, I suppose. So over that way, beyond that big cliff, would be Africa. I don't know how far, 300, 400 miles, where a lot of the refugees are coming from. It's a very beautiful place here. I'd like to have one of these boats, even that inflatable right there. And if you notice, the inflatable and the high-speed boat have the colors of Ukraine, blue and yellow. Beautiful stonework here, with ice plant like we have in California, in Southern California. Okay. What else can I show you? I can walk down to the other beach. Let's go. It's a humongous amount of seagrass here. Unless there's rocks underneath that, I'm not sure. I'm anxious to get a diving outfit and dive here with my metal detector and see what I can find out there. They say you have to have a permit here in order to recover any ancient treasure. But you could certainly find jewelry and keep it. But they say you can't use a metal detector in Cyprus. So I don't know what the heck that's all about. Sounds like Florida. Well, you can't use a metal detector on the beach in Florida or in the sea. Looks like their hose sprang a leak here. I'd like to check this beach out, but I think the waves will get me. I don't have my tennis shoes on. In fact, I don't have tennis shoes anymore. I left them in Baku, Azerbaijan, I think. Yeah. Look at all the small stones that have accumulated right there. Pushed up by the sea. Interesting. Oh, that might be a pretty girl down there. Not sure. Okay. I don't know how many rooms they have here. Probably, I don't know, 400 or 500. It's one of the most beautiful hotels I've ever seen inside. There's a black cat. Look at that. Hello. I don't know why they cut the top off of this palm tree. That's interesting. They have several different types of palms here. I hope that I'll be singing here. They're interested. I have to get a work permit. They offered me $350 a night, which isn't bad for a couple of hours work, but up to $2,000 if I sing for big conventions here or big weddings. It just really varies. But I am the best man singer in all of Cyprus, and I was told that just today by a man who owns a restaurant who is kind of a famous singer. He's British, in Maribia, and by one of my women agents. So look at all the plastic and crap that's washed up on the beach from the sea during that storm. Wow, the world needs to be careful about what we're doing to our environment. This is really bad. And you know, it kills the fish, I heard. I don't know what that is. It's very light. But I think it's man-made. Look at all these plastic bottles. And there's a nice sized sponge right here. Yeah. I wonder if I could wash with that, huh? I should have brought a bag. I wasn't expecting to find anything here, really. The dive shop is right behind me, about 200 yards. Or as the rest of the world says, 200 meters. I'm an American, so we don't use the metric system. You never know what you're going to find on a beach, especially after a storm. That's a strange looking sponge, or a type of coral, I think. More sponges. I should have brought my metal detector. I've got a little one. Nobody would know what it is. Doesn't look like a metal detector. It looks like a red carrot or an orange carrot. It's about as long as my foot. It's called a Garrett Pro pinpointer, something like that. and it'll detect as far as on a larger metal object a foot away, foot deep. On a coin about 5 inches, depending on the size of the coin. That's really an interesting concretion right there. Shells and small rocks and bigger rocks. This is a fascinating island, I think. I've been here 12 days now, I think, or 13. I've only seen 3 or 4 days with sunshine. They say it's the winters are not all that nice here. In March, tens of thousands of people will come. There's a big sponge. Look at this thing. Mamma mia. Wow. Oh, weird. Looks pretty dirty. I have a feeling the sponges are in fairly shallow water here. I'm looking for shards, we call them, from amphora Greek jars. They're made of clay. And I'm told the sea here is just filled with them everywhere you dive, all around this rather large island. Well, it's a small island compared to Madagascar, which is 1,000 miles long. Madagascar is the largest island in the world. Cuba might be number 2. It's 700 miles long. And this one, I don't know, maybe 50 or 100 miles long. The next closest country actually is Turkey. This is interesting. Some sea creature. Some kind of, I don't know what it is. Interesting. Huh. So I'm taking you on a tour of a beach. They say on the next beach that way, which is less than, well, it's a quarter of a mile or so, 50,000 people gather there every day. Mostly British and French and other Europeans. Not so, I haven't met one American here in 2 weeks. I guess Americans don't come to Cyprus. So it makes me unique with my music because I don't have any competition from Americans.